Hi guys, and welcome to my new knitting podcast. My name is Claudia and welcome here on Knitted Journey. And welcome to like the winter vibes, the winter knit. It's that time again, definitely for the podcast to feel like cozy and wintry. And like December is almost here. I believe it's the 29th of November, the day that I film this. I will upload this, I'm planning to upload this on this December the 2nd. So yeah, it's almost like Christmas time, and I'm getting a little bit excited about that. And it's almost the end of the year, and at the beginning of January, I have my YouTube anniversary. Like, I've been doing this for almost a year now, and I'm so glad that I started. I'm so grateful for everyone here. We're almost with 1,000 people of you here. So if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe so I can have like that goal of 1,000 subscribers before my 1 year anniversary. That would totally, yeah, make the end of the year for me. I'm even like deliberating if I want to do vlogmas type videos this time. I've never done them before, but I like watching them. Although I'm really bad at following and watching YouTube at the moment. But like the original Zoe Suck vlogmas is like wonderful. I'm not going to do that. I don't have the time to film every day or edit every day, and I don't have so many fun things planned, to be honest. But I'm get excited about the idea of filming a little bit more, getting more personal, and yeah, like getting in the cozy vibes. And the year 2023, I don't want to say too much about it, but if you follow me like this year, you know that it's been kind of a rough year for me. So I'm glad it's going to an end and I'm getting to a better place. And I feel like filming that would be um, that I that I'm logging that I'm filming the process of me closing this chapter of my life, sad as it may be for some parts, but getting excited and started for the next chapter. And I will talk about that life update um, in the vlogs, I think, because you're here to watch what I knit. So let's get started. Firstly, I'm wearing an old knit of mine. This is sweater number 18 by My Favorite Things Knitwear in drops Lima and drops Kid Silk in two tones of blue. The mohair is lighter. And you can see the sweater in my first couple of episodes because I knitted this last winter. And I'm so in love with this sweater, with how it fits and the oversizedness and the look of it. It just itches a little bit. But I'm wearing like a higher neck top underneath this, so now it's okay. And I love the color on me. So I need to wear this more. Rambling stuff is done. Let's get started with my first big finished object. And it's the Lyon sweater. This is a beautiful sweater, beautiful pattern by Petiteknit. It's one of the more recent, can I say that? One of the last year, at least, sweaters. It is striped, as you can see, and it has a totally different shoulder construction than I've ever done before. I've talked about this sweater for, I feel, like 3 episodes already, 3 podcasts, so I'm not going to talk about that construction all that much, other than to say I loved knitting this, and I'm totally knitting this again. So yeah, this is the color, double folded. I like how you can see the increases here. And in the back, you have this beautiful shoulder detail. And as you can see, it's not really a drop shoulder. Like a drop shoulder has the seam over here. It goes straight through the body and you pick up stitches for the sleeves. And here you work in the round with the stitches and it becomes a raglan construction. So it's really intricate or intricate. It's really interesting construction to do because it keeps me entertained. I don't get bored quite easily with this. So it's a raglan yoke and then just quite simple through the body and a bigger rib. This is really oversized, to be honest. I'm going to show you a clip of how it looks on me. I thought if I show it in the clip, you can see more of it than when I sit like this. It's big and it is intended to be oversized, and I like that, if, as you know. But it turned out a little bit bigger than I expected it to or wanted it to. I made this in a size large, which is just my size in Petiteknit. But I think my gauge is like a stitch or half a stitch off. And if you multiply it by, well, how many stitches are there on this body, like this is the body, look at how wide it is. It's huge, to be honest. I like how it looks on me. It's so comfortable, so cozy, so I'm not mad. But I would have wanted it a little bit with less positive ease. I think it now has 26 centimeters, 28 centimeters of positive ease. I would have preferred 10 centimeter positive ease less than that. So that's for next time. Maybe I should mind the gauge a little bit more or choose a size medium to begin with. I've used, the yarn that I used is Drops Daisy, which is the new yarn from Drops. It's a non-superwash merino and it's so soft. It's so buttery soft on the needles. I loved knitting with this. I use like metal needles and it glides so smooth and so easily. It was such a joy to knit, and especially with the stripes and the addicting part of knitting stripes. I would totally knit with it again, but I first want to wear this sweater a couple of times to see how the yarn or the fabric wears. I've worn this the day before yesterday to work, so it's one time wear, and I feel like you can see a little bit of the, I don't know if my camera picks it up. It fluffs a little bit more on the inside of the arm, and I have some like blue fluff here hanging. So it's starting to peel already a little bit with one wear. And here on the sleeves as well. Yes, you can see it is peeling already. I expected it because it's so soft, and that's just the thing with merino wool. It is really soft. So it will peel. But yeah, I don't mind that all that much. I hope. Hopefully I can wear this for like 2 or 3 times and then need to shave it with like that little machine. And that would be manageable, I think. The sleeves are quite wide, as you've seen in the clip. I would have preferred them a little bit less wide, but I just followed the pattern for picking up stitches, or although it's a raglan, so you don't have to pick up stitches, you just follow the amount of the yoke. But also with this, I think my gauge is a little bit bigger, and I did more rapid increases than the pattern suggests, but I do that like all the time anyways, because my arms are quite short, like a short person. And this is how it went, and I didn't want the effect of a balloon sleeve, so it increased a little bit more here on the end, and I struggled with the ribbing a whole lot. Firstly, I believe last episode I had one sleeve finished, if I'm correct. I'm not sure anymore. But then I decided that I didn't like the length, and I ripped it out the cuff and added an extra blue and white stripe because I wanted it to be longer. Like, it came to here, and now I feel like I want my sweaters to be a little bit more around here. But this is a smaller sleeve, as you can see, so it stays on the wrist a lot more. But when sleeves are wide like this, they fall down really easily. I've experienced that with my Sonia sweater, for example, or my Ingrid sweater. And all the times when I'm knitting, I'm afraid my sleeves will be too long because they will block bigger, like they grow in length with blocking, but then they shrink up again with wear. And my lento, I feel like has the sleeves are a little bit too short for me now. So I decided to lengthen the sleeve, redo the ribbing, and I was struggling with finding the needle size because I knitted this on 3.25 millimeter needles instead of 4. As you know, I go down needle sizes all the time because I'm a loose knitter, and I didn't know what needle size would go with this. And I have a new needle set, Chaugu Red Lace Mini. I'll show you in the end. And I started with that on needle size 2.5, I believe, and it went way too tight. It became way too tight, and I had like it cinched in so much, and it felt like and I got a balloon sleeve, but I didn't want that. So in the end, I believe I used a regular circular needle 2 millimeter, but with a longer cable. And with that, I knit looser than the Chaugu needles. The Chaugu needles I knit really tight. I'm not used to that, but especially then it shrinks up the ribbing a whole lot. But now I like it, and I like how it goes from the sleeve to the ribbing. It's not a whole dramatic effect. So yeah, I redid the ribbing, I think about 5 times, and I was so done with that. But now I really love how it looks. So yeah, I love this sweater. It feels so cozy. I want to wear this all the time. I'm going to keep you updated with how it wears, like in a couple of weeks or months maybe. Maybe that's a good video idea, like end of the winter review of sweaters and how they wear and how much you wear them. I also want to make a video about how I style my knits, because I've been getting a little bit creative now and I have so much to wear that I made myself. Yeah, this is my first finished object. I don't know what I can say about this more. If you are curious to see how the inside looks with the yarn that I took with me. I really like how neat this inside looks. I did that so that I didn't have like a million ends to weave in. And I think for my first, this is like my proper first striped garment. I really like how it looks and I liked knitting it. I'm definitely making this sweater again, maybe in a solid color or maybe in a rusty stripe or green. I think that would suit me. Something that suits on top of a jeans. It's quite heavy, I have to say. I think I used 8 skeins of the white color and 4 skeins, or maybe 3 and a little bit of the navy color. But yeah, I'm a little bit hesitant with how this fabric will wear. But I'll keep you updated. Next, just a cute, fun little finished object that I started in Copenhagen. Just one of my projects I brought with me. And it's the December bow by Petiteknit. A lot of Petiteknit, but that's always the case with me. So this is one of her like cute accessory Christmassy patterns. This is knitted in Drops Daisy. I have to say that correctly. And it's basically like a Sophie scarf, a little bit different increases. And then you sew it together with a double knitted little band here. And I did that last night. And it just looks so cute. So cute. I don't know what I want to do with this. It would be lovely on a tree, but I'm not having a Christmas tree this year, not like a big one because of the move. So this is from a new place, just to hang somewhere, probably my bedroom, because this is me. This is basically me, cute and pink. I'm planning to make one in red, in a smaller gauge, in fingering weight, and then I can wear it in my hair, because this is kind of big, for the Christmas celebration at my work. But yeah, I don't know what I can say about this. I knitted this on needle size, let's say 3.5. I don't know anymore. Yeah, I think 3.5. But as I said, I knitted the whole like scarf-ish thingy, the whole thing in Copenhagen. And then yesterday I just did this little band and I sewed it together. And the instruction in the video is really clear. So if you're planning on making some cute little gifts for someone or decorations, I can recommend this, because this is a really quick and fun knit with quite a dramatic effect, I have to say. So yeah, that's my next finished object. And then I have 2 whips. As I said, I don't have a whole lot of whips. But first is my cardigan that I'm making, cardigan number 8, by my favorite things knitwear. And I believe last time that I showed you this, I was joined in the round under the arms, or in the round. It's a cardigan, so you knit it flat, but the body was, the front and the back pieces were joined, and I was working on the body. And now I am here. So the sleeves are done, the body is done. I just have to do the button band. So this is the cardigan. It's so much fun. The yarn especially is so much fun. So let's talk about the yarn first. My base is Filcolana Peruvian Highland wool. I love this yarn. It's one of my favorite DK weight yarns. I think this is the color Marzipan 977. It's just a really beautiful yarn that it has a little bit more, it's not rustic, but you could feel a little bit more that it's wool than Daisy, the merino, for example, but it's not as rustic as Peer Gynt. Although I do have to say, Peer Gynt washed with blocking became a little bit softer, and I really like wearing that Peer Gynt, but I also like this and the color choices. And it's affordable. I like that it's quite affordable. It's, I believe, €4.50 per skein. So I have the pink, one of the pink colors, I have no idea what the name of it is, coming in for the sweater number 18. So that's my base. I'm holding this with Rico Make It Tweed. And this is a really thin yarn that has all the tweedy bits on it. So you can make a tweed yarn with this rainbow effect yourself. And from afar you can see just the bigger pieces, but when you're getting close, you can see all the colorful strands with this. And I feel like now you can see a little bit of pooling here on the sleeve. Yeah, it looks a little bit like pooling, but I don't care. It's a rainbow neutral cardigan. Because the base is so neutral, from afar it's just a beigey creamy color, but up close it's so colorful, and I really want to wear this with colorful plain tops underneath this, like a bright blue or bright pink or just black. And I'm almost done. I'm really excited. First, let's see how it looks on me. It is not as oversized as I expected it to be. But right now it falls off my shoulders. It definitely needs that button band, because the inside of this these panels roll inwards quite a lot. they need to flatten out, and then I believe it's a double knitted bottom band. I haven't read it, but I believe it is. So that will take up quite some time, but then it will get more sturdy, lay flat, get like bigger through the inside. And it is a V-neck cardigan. I haven't said that, but it's a V-neck drop shoulder cardigan. And if the ribbing on the bottom blocks out a little bit like widthwise, and I am always making sure that does, or pinning it down, then I think it will fall nice and straight down. The back feels like it's roomy and big enough, but when I look in the mirror in the front, like on my hips, I feel like it can be a little bit roomier. I made it longer than my previous cardigans. I already made the champagne cardigan and the field day cardigan by Ozetta, and those are quite cropped, and I wanted this one to be a little bit longer, but like a flattering length. I believe I got that right now. I hope it doesn't grow all that much, but I'm not expecting this yarn to grow, except for the sleeves for a little bit, and then they shrunk down again. I think that will happen. In the back you have this beautiful big like band over here made with the increases. I like that detail. It makes it more of a store, more of a casual look, let's say that. The sleeves, I believe I played with the increases here as well. Especially here in the end, you can see it's more rapid increases. And these are a little bit more tight, but that's also just convenient with cardigans that they don't hang in your food all the time. But I think this will block out a little bit more. And with this one, I was also struggling with the ribbing. I had at one point these last 3 weeks, I was working on the sleeves of my Lyon sweater, and I was working on the sleeves with this one and working on a ribbing on all the sleeves at the same time. I felt like, so I was struggling with this ribbing as well. I tried, I want to say like 4 different needle sizes, and then in the end I did what the pattern suggested. The cardigan is in needle size 5.5. Well, I made this in needle size 5, and the ribbing you should do in the same needle size. Well, normally I go down a needle size like 1 millimeter or maybe even more than that, and most of the patterns say that, almost all of them say that, and you get a really nice and tight ribbing, like over here. You get it really tight and nice, but it looked, when I did that, I was just like a little bit stubborn. I tried to size down the needle sizes, and I really didn't like how it looked. Maybe it's with the Make It Tweed that has no stretch in it at all, that dictates a whole lot of my tension. So I knit this a little bit tighter than I usually do. And in the end, I just did the ribbing on needle size 5. It is not as neat and clean looking as I would have liked, but I think it suits the style of the sweater, the cardigan, the casualness of it. And I did that too on the bottom of the body. And that's why it doesn't have that like bomber jacket feel, because the ribbing is quite loose. And the body is not all that long, as you can see, but yeah, short person, so this is long enough. And now I need to muster up the courage to make the bottom band. And I know from the champagne cardigan, that one took me about 10 hours. So yeah, this is another thing that became a theme in the end, like the last couple of days or a week. I need to do the double knitted bottom band on this one. I did the double knitted band on this one yesterday, and in my next whip I was working on a double knitted band. So that's, I got theme sleeves and ribbing on sleeves, and now I'm on the double knitting journey. I don't mind doing a double knitted band, to be honest. I like the effect because it's so beautiful. But yeah, if I talk about my next knitting whip, then I'll tell what I don't like about it. So yeah, I like where it's going. I like the colors. It's so much fun, and it really suits me. I think I'm getting more and more um, of my spark back. I'm getting more happy finally, and I feel like that bright colors suit my like emotional state a bit more. So I like how this expresses that, I think. And I like that I can wear this all year round, because I really like how this color, how this looks on jeans, like in that clip you just saw with jeans and a black top underneath this. But I can wear this on top of a dress in the summertime as like a warm layer in the evening. But I can wear this also with just colorful tops. And yeah, it's just really versatile. So let's go to my last whip. And this one is my Elisabeth blouse. And I haven't made a whole lot of progress with this one. Last time I had the collar done. It's a blouse by Petiteknit. It has a v-neck and then a collar, which I've done for the first time. And then raglan, yoke, long sleeves. And it is meant to have, I believe, 6 centimeters of positive ease. I sized up because I want more positive ease. And this is where I'm at. It looks a little bit messy. It's on a smaller needle, so you can't see it all that well. But last time I did the collar, and I did a little bit of the yoke, the start of the yoke. I did the short rows, but that was basically it. And now I have joined it in a round. I did the whole V thingy, but I'm not quite done with the yoke. I can almost split for sleeves. So this is the collar. It needs to be blocked so it stands right. Then you have the V here, the raglan shaping. I'm really curious to see how this will look on me, because I'm not really a collar type of girl, to be honest. I'm really not preppy in my wardrobe choices. So I'm really curious. This is quite out of character for me, but if it's oversized, then I like it probably. So that's the goal. Well, this is the collar. You start the project here at the top with Judy's Magic Cast On, so you can work both sides and you don't have a clear starting point. Well, I do have some tension issues with this one, but hopefully it will block out. This, by the way, is Filcolana Pernilla, which is a sport weight yarn. This is the color 346 and it has 50 grams, has 175 meters. Beautiful green color. I love this green. So that's the color. That's like completely double knitted, like both sides are knitted. Then you knit them together. You start working the raglan flat, just like a raglan cardigan with short row shaping. And I feel like this is quite small, like this is the back portion. And I feel like the stripes are quite small. But I'm trusting the pattern that I will get enough room. I think I will. And then when you do the yoke, the raglan, You set some stitches aside over here and you wait for them. You do the yoke, and when you're here, you get those stitches and you make it a double knitted band. So this part is double knitted on the other side as well, and one side here at the bottom is overlapping. It's a beautiful detail and it's really easy to do. To be honest, I did watch the video instruction, but I do that almost all the time with Petiteknit patterns just to make sure that I'm doing it right. The video is there anyways. If you've not seen them before, do. They're in Danish, I believe, but most of them are subtitled in English, and you can follow it almost without watching the subtitles. Just look at what they do. So yeah, I really like how this looks. It looks really clean. And I'm knitting this on needle size 3mm needles. So for this bottom band, I did needle size 2 on my Chalgo needles. And that was really tight, I do have to say. I like the effect of it. It looks really clean and neat, although the edge could have been a little bit neater. But hey, who notices that? Especially when you're wearing it. Nobody except me, of course. So that was quite fiddly, and sometimes I dropped a couple of stitches and I had to be really mindful about that. And also had to be mindful about tension on my hands. But it was okay. Once I did one side, the other side was done really fast. So yeah, let's fold the color one more time. I hope this will block out evenly, because now it curls and it doesn't sit nice. I think I have to manipulate it with blocking. So yeah, next time definitely I can show you how this looks on. I don't feel like you can get a good grip of what it looks like right now, because I haven't split for sleeves. But next time I will have done that, and hopefully I have more time to knit so I can get some good progress on here. One thing that contributed to knitting less on this is that it's on smaller needles, and I just need to be more mindful on my tension. So that's why I preferred working on my Lyon or on my Cardigan. But I actually really love how it looks. And when I picked this up, like yesterday or maybe the day before, I really loved knitting on this. So I need to do that more. It will be too thin, I'm afraid, too cold for the winter here. So I need to wear a t-shirt underneath this, but that will be fine. So yeah, that's my last project I'm working on. I think like I do these podcasts every 3 weeks now for these last months, and I want to keep doing that. Although I don't know if I want to do that if I'm also doing Vlogmas, but let's say yes, I want to do that. In 3 weeks time, the cardigan will definitely be finished. This one will be halfway through, maybe a sleeve finished, or mostly of the body. Let's hope. And I really want to start something new. Maybe the storm sweater. I have the yarn for that as well. Maybe the camisole number 9, but that's also on small needles and fiddly, so I don't really feel like doing that at the moment. And as I said, I ordered yarn for a sweater number 18 and for my sweet shop blanket. So I've got a whole lot of projects planned and ready to get started. I just can't make a decision on what I want to start next. And lastly, I want to show you the needles that I got. A really cute little pouch. I was looking for a small needle interchangeable set for quite some time now, because Well, I've mentioned this quite some time now already, but I'm knitting on smaller needle sizes than a pattern suggests. So that means that I'm knitting a lot on needle size 3.5 and 3. And what do you do with the ribbing or like the details in those garments? I wanted to have an interchangeable set, preferably, because I think that's economically like more sensible instead of buying all those needle sizes that I want all the time with different length of cables. Do I buy 100 or 80 centimeters or 60? I don't really like magic loop. So in the end, a couple of weeks ago, I saw a discount code for the site Etna, which is a Swedish website, I believe. It was an influencer with a discount code for 30% off, including this. So then it became, well, still a lot of money, but more doable. So this set has a little pouch and it has these needles, and these points I believe are 5 centimeters long, and the smaller ones are 3, and they are the same needle size. So we have 2 millimeter up to 3.25 in 2 different lengths. I'm still testing them, let's say that. I'm going to keep them, of course. I've used them, and I am glad that I have them, because otherwise I would have been way too curious how they would work. But I'm not a big fan of them yet. I used the 2 millimeter for the double knitted band on my Elisabeth, and I liked it. But because this is so short, even the longer ones, and you have the interchangeable cable over here. So let's say I put in this little cable. It's not, how do you say that? The cable doesn't twist with it, so it unwinds a lot. And my regular needles are the Mindful set by by Knit Pro, and these cables, they twist with knitting. And this is really short, and when I'm holding this, I'm really afraid that I push down on this point where the cable meets the needle. I'm really afraid I push down a lot or too much that it will break, or maybe bend it a bit and then I can't screw it on anymore. So I'm really mindful about how I hold my hands, and especially with the shorter ones. I can show you that as well. It's fabulous to get small circumferences, and I don't want to use this with knitting socks or anything, but if I want to make another baby knit or something, you get a really small circle, especially if you're even doing another small one. But I don't really like how this feels, how I need to hold this, because I talked about this with my knitting friends. We had a like wonderful evening last week. Um, you learn how to knit in a certain way, or you learn yourself how to knit. That's what I did, at least from like watching YouTube videos, and you hold your needle at a certain way and your yarn through your needles. Everyone holds it differently. If you look around on the internet or with your knitting friends, everyone has like a different method, and it's really hard to change from that, from how you've learned to do it. And when I'm knitting with such a small um, circumference, I switch to English style knitting most of the time. Normally I'm a continental knitter. I love that, and I'm a really loose knitter. But when I need to do this and English style, it gets really tight. So my the gauge is off, like the completely other way. So I have to get used to them. But I did buy, I believe, 3 other cables with them in the same sale. So I can make a 60 centimeter or 100 centimeter cable even maybe I want to do magic loop. And I've experienced that with longer cables, I like it a little bit better. I don't have to hold it as tight. So yeah, I think that's everything that I can show you. Please let me know what you're knitting on and what your plans are. And if you would like to see a vlogmas type-ish, some kind of knitting videos, I do have to decide if I want to do that, because December 1st is like in 2 days. And I want to start then on December 1st. So yeah, I hope you have a lovely day and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.